Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer II: The Shadow and the Blade, where the world is Skaven. We're doing it, man. Look at how much we're doing it. Look at the degree to which we're doing it. Don't scroll the map over slightly, because it starts to look pretty bad. In fact, that's a lot of Lutheran flags. Let's focus on this part. This part makes me feel calm. Look at it, it's so beautiful. Alright, let's get in here and start raising hell, because it turns out there's a lot more hell left to raise. We are nowhere near done. Alright, so we know Ikit Claw was reporting to the southwest. Is it faster at this point for him to run? Yeah, it's a little bit faster. Let's try to find a spot. Here we go. Spot on the edge of the circle where we are not actively suffering attrition. Vomik was headed down in this direction. What's going to be the fastest way? Oh no, sorry, he's further north than I thought he was. The fastest way is still going to be desperately to the southeast. Or south, yeah, southeast. Alright, Bilefitch is now in some kind of reinforcement position. I kind of think he needs to report in the direction of Gorgazan, right? This is our most vulnerable place on the border. Do we want to push towards sabotage and unrest in a hurry? We do not. So, finish working up Quartermaster to Renowned and Feared? We have an awful lot of skill points left. I think this is right. Now that we have the very, very valuable contract loopholes, let's just continue reducing the upkeep of his units. Because we may end up needing more armies, especially if the High Elves are turning their attention toward us, which it seems like may be the case. So I don't know that we want to push forward too much. I guess the thing we could do is try to get to Agro-Migdal. I know we have our allies converging on it, but I don't really want them to take it necessarily. Or did I have them... Where did I have you guys going? Because honestly, taking over Quitar, like, I don't really want to hold on to Ash River. And if we had, if the Dark Elves had a stronghold down here, it would actually be pretty useful. Let's see if we can point them in that direction. Would you guys please target this settlement? I think I told you to go somewhere else. That was an error. Please go this way instead. Okay. So, back to the question of what to do with Bilefitch Stab. I think the answer is advance on Agro-Migdal. Let's run Arat back over here, because it seems like the situation has changed. There is not an army in this immediate area that I need to be afraid of. You just come over here and be an annoyance. Yeah, get rid of that dude. And then... Bilefitch's army is still relatively weak, and Alric's army is actually kind of terrifying. So I don't know that I want Bilefitch to get any closer. I think we wanna wait until Snikch arrives. I don't even want to like run up on the border and try to do a sneaky ambush thing. We wanna be waiting for Snikch. We'll just go over here and hang out with him for a while. Okay, Remamute up north is preparing for the northern campaign. He's got himself a little assassin buddy here. So we still have some of these rebellions to put down. What is the state of Hadar's army? Hadar's army needs a minute. Yeah, let's just have Remamute come over and put down these rebellions, right? I think that makes sense. Alright, that'll be easy enough. Can reclaim some of the middle of our territory. You're just running north. Right, there's nothing else we need him for down here. I don't think we're particularly close to rebellion anywhere else. I think our public order is pretty much under control now that we've had time to recover from the Confederation debuff. So pretty much just head north as... That's really the most efficient path? Alright, I'll trust you. This does put him close to one of the rebellions as well. And he'll be just about max HP next turn, so they'll be ready to fight. Stunkrich was also headed toward the southeast, and he should probably be trying to get down to this pass, right? I think that's the most sensible way through. Here's a question. Is there an army at Quitar? Last time we looked there was. Yep, and there still is. Well, we should probably be ready to deal with that. So, I mean, Stunkrich's army is strong. We need to try to get out of the attrition zone is all. Looks like it's all pretty ugly down here, though. What if we... Okay, if we underway move, we can avoid attrition and also get across the river, so that seems pretty obviously right. Infectique, do we need to move you? We have... Yeah, we have reason to think you need to be moved. You know what? I'm going to have him grab this, though. Do we need the money? I mean, not desperately. But also, I don't think his movement here is terribly desperate. And then we could just come up on this beach and chase them down the coast. I would like to perform better on the campaign map. Sometimes these give you bonus movement. Okay, so we found a sword that we don't really need and a trunk of maps that we don't really need. Ah, well. What are you gonna do? Alright, we gotta get back on land. Nope, sorry. Go into full sail mode. Get back on land. There we go. Getting back on land is a pretty expensive procedure in terms of the amount of movement that it costs, but I believe you can execute it as long as you have any movement left when you hit the shoreline. So by doing it at the end of the turn, you're actually moving slightly more efficiently than you are if you do it at the beginning of a turn. At least that's been my observation. I don't know for sure that that's solid. We need to fill Queek's army. We do have a Doom Wheel available. We may as well give him a Doom Wheel. And then he also is going to need... He just needs to spend a turn recruiting. We have no recruitment structures in Ostermark, so I think we stop at the border here. I'm having a real hard time selecting him. Stop at the border here and do a turn of recruitment. Because we do have recruitment structures here. So let's drop the unit of Skaven Slave Slingers. And I was going to drop the 2 Warp Grinders, but we don't actually have a lot of melee options. I mean, the Warp Grinders are terrible, right? These are absolutely horrible units. Just based on their stats and stuff. I would rather have, like, some Gutter Runners or something. Do we want Gutter Runners? Let's grab Gutter Runners for right now. Just fill up the slots. Those are not my ideal units, but we just need bodies in the army. And we gotta get our recruitment centers going. Well, Eshen's where we're gonna put the normal melee recruitment structure, and then yeah, we're just having a hard time building up here. Things did not unfold quite as quickly in Eastern Sylvania as I might have liked, just causing some issues there. Okay, so Queek's done. Shife. Shife needs to... We were sending him over here to deal with some rebellions, but those rebellions have fallen. And we're actually really good on public order everywhere else. Oh, he's... Sorry, that's right. He's coming to rebuild the settlements. The rebellions did not fall. They completed their task. And we must now go and uncomplete it. Upside, just keep being a pain for XP. Actually, they've left Kislev undefended now. Interesting. Are you at war with the World Walkers? Okay. So that means that this army, this Kislev army, is not necessarily coming up here to backstab us. I don't know if it's a backstab for someone who hates us to declare war on us, but you know what I mean. Not for sneaky, sudden war declaration and attack. It's probably just going to fight their enemies. Which I'm fine with, if indeed that is what they're doing. We don't have to be super paranoid, is my point. You definitely need to get up here. We're going to need you once hostilities break out in full. Rel is... What is Rel devoted to? I don't know. Get over here. We'll figure something out for you. Murta knows what's up. Let's attack this guy. Please give me a whole level. Alright, well, you're definitely not going to get a whole level off of a failure. That's not really how that works. And then all that's left is Staden. I guess Staden is going north with the others. Alright, let us continue pouring our extremely large amounts of money into the local economies. We do need to get our public order under control over here. Like, very badly. It doesn't really matter which one of these we upgrade first. Does either of them have a resource? Oh, Schwarzhofen has pastures. That goes first. We can probably afford to turn off taxation here. I don't think it's doing a tremendous amount for us. Accidentally hit pass, whatever. Some settlement is not getting evaluated this turn. I'm really surprised at how bad gemstone mines are for Skaven. It's kind of wild. We have all this stuff. We don't need a bell. Yeah, we don't need a bell. We already have a bell, rather. So I guess just make, just make a recruitment thing. Those still give reasonable money while also having an actual use. Here, Karak Kadrin has no resource, and it's not really on the front of anything, so let's do this, I guess, so that we have room for that dye building. And we are good to go. I'm very curious what those high elf ships off of our coast are doing. And then, of course, we do have the tiny lizardmen problem in the southeast corner of the map. But aside from that, I'm feeling remarkably secure. Interesting. He might be veering off toward Lustria here, heading down to help deal with Lord Skrulk. He's taking a very strange path to doing that, but it's entirely possible that he just was going somewhere and then changed his mind. And I think we're okay with more of their forces diverting toward the jungle, because they're seeming to have a really hard time bringing down Clan Pestilence. If Clan Pestilence can occupy, several stacks of multiple forces of people that have declared war on me without actually ever dying, obviously that's fantastic for us. Man, I cannot wait until we are done with these dwarves. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a while. The fact that we're already at war with Corone complicates things. If we weren't, we could try to just move through the southern part of the Southlands, through all this Lizardman territory, and just push our enemies that way. The fact that we do actually have to take this land in such a way that our forces are defended from Corone's armies means that we're probably going to have to just take things pretty much from east to west, which means that we're going to have to kill an awful lot of settlements before we get to that last mountain bastion of the dwarves. I'm really hopeful that Aztec won't ever actually even attack that settlement that he's at. And it's possible he'll spend so much time up there building siege weapons and stuff that he never gets around to actually fighting us before we can get our reinforcements in place. This is a much more comfortable kind of two-front war. Obviously, you never want to be involved in a two-front war. But I'm much more comfortable with it when all of the people that we're at war with are much weaker than we are. Because that's never gone wrong in human history, right? Okay, Nagarond acknowledged our question there. Or what do you call it? Our request for them to attack that particular settlement, so that's real good news for us. We're still really far away from the front with Ikit Claw. He just needs to keep moving his full movement range every turn. It's definitely going to be fastest to continue doing underway moves here. So we could aim to go through the Misty Mountains. I think that's sensible. So we'll underway move to over here next turn, and then we'll be out in the desert at full sprint across the dunes. Over here, Deathmaster Snikch really needs to set the pace of the approach. And again, gotta be real careful about underway Badlands attrition. You can see you take a little bit of attrition damage just moving across the attrition territory. Oh, right. We were in movement mode. We were in march mode. Shoot. I meant to have him move just far enough to lay an ambush, obviously. But I screwed that up. Well, that's fine. I was going to use Bilefitch as bait because his army looks weaker, but we'll have to do it this way. They can show up as sneaky reinforcements. That's fine. Remamute gets to devour yet another rebel army. Ambush and everything. Hardly seems fair. And then, do we want to redirect you north? Because, we have to have people in place to deal with this, right? So I guess Remamute's going to be part of that. We can have him help with the resettlement here. He can resettle Hergig, while Scheif resettles... Oh wait, weren't there two places that got burned down that I needed to... Oh, the other one was Wolfenburg. Right. Well, we might be declaring war very, very soon, then. Hidar is in position to deal with this one, and I believe this is the last rebel army then, right? All of the rebellions have concluded one way or another, some of them more successfully than others. And then Hidar is definitely also heading north. There's going to be a lot of work to do up here. Alright, I appreciate that he is almost max level. So, we haven't really had to make a choice yet about whether we want to go blue or red as a secondary line, but this is the moment when we make that choice, I guess. We don't really need the cost reduction. He might be best off just buffing his troops. Yeah, I buy that. So, Blastmaster then, right? Weapon teams? I mean, there's definitely something to be said for engineering skill. Does he have doom wheels? He does. He has doom wheels, and he has plague claw catapults, and yeah, all right. Engineering skill works. You, my friend, can finish learning Scorch. Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to have a lot of these kind of like half setup turns for a little while yet. There's still a lot of piece moving that has to happen. So Stunkritch is almost in the pass. Would it be better for me to march? I could get further by marching. Oh, I'm not afraid of Stig van Volkvan. First of all, his name is Stig van Volkvan, which is not scary. And secondly, look at how tiny his army is. Look at his tiny, sad little army. We don't know for sure. Can I get a little bit of intel about what's going on west of this? Are there armies nearby that could assist in the attack? I don't want to go too far because I want to be able to turn around and stab that dude. Oh, there are Bray herds. Okay, there are beastmen all up in the way who would make life complicated for these guys. I feel comfortable marching then. We will show them that we are not afraid. And in fact, we will be in reinforcement position for the Dark Elves in case they want to take Quitar. I would not be opposed to the Dark Elves just taking over this whole area over here, providing us a nice buffer zone against our enemies, and giving them a good place from which to attack. You are definitely not going to turn around just because it looks like the High Elves might be veering off. Let's not fall for any nonsense. Queek now needs to position... So let's see, where is the actual border? Is the border the river? Because we own this stuff over here, right? It's not at all unusual for my units to be in Essen. Move. Although obviously they're probably gonna get what I'm doing right here. I could have done this in a stealthier way. Oh no, apparently I left myself exactly 25% movement. Well then never mind, I'm not even here. We're so incredibly stealthy. You will not be able to resettle Hergig. Probably what you actually need to do is move toward Norden. Ingrad will have time to build a real defensive structure next turn. Yeah, I'm gonna move him toward Norden. Because we're gonna have to crush Salzenmund and Dietershafen quickly, so that we don't have to worry about them recruiting guys in our backfield. You should probably come this way to help with that. Erat, of course, will just continue doing what he has been doing. This might be an okay time to do some assaults. They're probably going to, even if we'd been successful there. It's likely that they would have been, that they would heal everything off before their turn, but it's not guaranteed. Especially with a unit like Erat, who is all the way upgraded, and so does a lot more casualties per use of that skill. What's Prague look like? Okay, Prague has a full army in it. We are, at the beginning of the Kislev conflict, going to seem a little thinly spread relative to them. Okay, you are definitely going this way. We are about to have a rebellion in Western Sylvania, yeah? Let's take a quick look here. In the Eastern Border Princes, we are negative and falling, but we could work on it. This would just be salt. We have enough time to finish the upgrade in Ackendorf and then build a bell there, which I think is a much better thing to do. Let's just go ahead and get this into our trade contracts. I know we're not trading with nearly as many people as we used to be, but it's still important. How much money are we making for trade per turn? Okay, 7,500. That's like an army. That's an entire army's worth of money right there. Red and falling. The Mootland is that, and also it's becoming a little bit of an issue. We'll turn off taxation for a minute. So it looks like we're real good in most places. In the Western Badlands, we're falling, but it's going to be fixed very shortly. In fact, we should probably do this, and we may as well do that. In Western Sylvania, even with taxation turned off, we're having a problem. Well, nothing for it except to maybe recall Queek. The rebel army will spawn right there. So let's just turn Queek around. He should be able to reach them next turn. That's with taxation off, even. That's weird. It reset our position on the list right as I clicked. I was trying to go to Giant Home. In Giant Home, things are fine. In Huckland, things are less fine, but we'll fix this because we'll resettle Hergig next turn, and that will that'll give us a lot of stuff to work with. And then Ostland is the other one. In Ostland, we will be fine. We'll own Wolfenburg again soon. Okay, cool. Well, we are still working on it. I don't know if the declaration comes this coming turn. We might be in position. Obviously, we want to prevent them from arming up too much, like in the area of Hergig. So I guess, to some degree, the decision's going to be based on scouting information from next turn. We're going to have a couple of furious turns of battle where they are seeking out our undefended areas and then probably taking a settlement or two off of us as we continue to position our armies. But I am 100% confident that we will crush them, given a little bit of time. And there's nothing else up there at this point to complicate matters. Up to this point, we've had a lot of situations where it seemed like a war was going pretty well, and then all of a sudden we got surprised from the other side or by a nearby enemy. It happened with the Empire, it happened when we were about to finish off Corone, it happened with the Elves. But our situation is, although it is larger and in many ways more complex, it is also, in some very important ways, much, much simpler. Oh no, my technology. I think steel technology is kind of a... Keep in mind, it does nothing negative to us. It's purely positive for him. Also, what dwarf would want Skaven technology? So I was about to say, steel technology is kind of a non-ideal name for that thing, because it doesn't really describe what they're doing very well. Also, even if you take into account, hey, it's pretty wild that the Skaven have huge guns and everything, that's maybe worth taking over, or worth stealing. You have to consider, the fatality rates of the people who operate the guns. Maybe it's not obvious because it doesn't really work this way in the Total War Warhammer video game, but those Skaven war machines are very unstable, and they tend to have some pretty bad consequences for the people using them. Remember, a lot of the machinery and often the ammunition is made out of magical uranium, so there's that. But also, the guns just, explode all the time, and stuff like that, so... The Skaven can afford to use them because there are effectively infinite Skaven. It would be somewhat less good for a dwarf, I think. Alright, next turn we get Dominating Scheme, which will be cool. Let us just go down the list, as usual. Get Claw is a long, long way from where he's going. It looks like we're getting into that part of the Badlands where using the Underway makes a lot more sense. We definitely want to continue using the Underway over here. He's actually making it even further than I thought he was going to. We might be in full sprint mode next turn, actually. Alright. Let's do this thing. I bet we can take Ulrich Dietzen pretty easily here. Let's see if we can get a good assault off first, though. If I can ever select our guy. Alright, you know you can do this. I see the 100%. That's reasonable damage. So obviously Snikch leads the attack. This is going to be real easy, I would hope. Yeah, Snikch would actually get it done by himself, but... why take casualties when we could just solve the problem by really, really overwhelming them with numbers? Even terrible numbers are still numbers. It's the number one thing I learned in school. Alright, so that was probably roughly half of Sudenburg's entire military force that we just killed there. Bodes very well for us. We got to get some defenses up around Agril Migdal, and we got to do it pretty quickly. Do I want to keep this building in Galbaraz? Probably not, right? Because we want to have room for the fancier recruitment buildings. Like, this should be this thing, and this should be that thing. Because Gronti Mingol is quite a ways back, and it's unlikely to fall. So we don't really want recruitment structures on the front line. You need to do this, and I guess that as well. Hopefully we'll have time to get those completed before we get invaded. So is Biofetch, yeah. Remamute is next. So, do we declare this turn? Obviously, Hergig's pretty important. Let's, like I said, scout a little bit. I do appreciate them resettling these, and remember, when you resettle a settlement, it costs a significant number of your own troops to do that. So this army's probably pretty weak. Oh yeah, wow, tremendously weak right now. This is a moment. This is the moment for this moment, is what I was about to say. That's not good English. That's not good words. Do we have to turn Queek around? I guess is the question. Hidar can push up to support Remamute. Yeah, it probably has to be Queek who puts down the rebellion. Nobody else can really do it. Alright, I'm just going to run him all the way back to Castle Tempelhof real quick. You should learn about Flensing Ruins? No, we're going to pick up extra powder. Whenever you finish a move, it's just like, it decides that whatever you were looking at, it's not a thing worth looking at anymore. It locked that point in. Well, I mean, it's fine. We were going to finish Flensing Ruin after extra powder. But I definitely did not confirm that point. So that's an annoying thing for that to have done. So yeah, I think what we're going to do here is just, we're going to declare Dmitry Tsaryov is, unfortunately, going to be uncontrolled for a little while. And there's nothing we can really do about that. You already have all of your important points, so I guess just keep doing this. You should also harass Ivan Dashev. Okay. Well, yeah. So we declare because Remamute is in position to launch an attack, and that's what we want to do. Can Hidar reinforce? You can get pretty close. Alright, who are you at war with? Only people who are already my friends. And you are in a military alliance with only people I'm already at war with, so yeah, this costs us nothing. We do not need to call our allies to help. You know what, you guys can just stay not at war with them, that's fine. I don't want to strain our relationships or anything, so Remamute, this would be totally trivial. City has no garrison yet either, it's just our army versus his army in a battle that he's not allowed to retreat from. So we'll just go ahead and take that. And then now that we control the city, and thus the crossing, let's see if that's enough for Hadar to make it across the river. Nope, he just actually runs out of movement. Get as far north as you can then. So next turn we can take Wolfenburg back. It has a garrison, but keep in mind it's recently settled, so the garrison is horribly injured and slowly recovering. He may move that army there just into it, which would not be a terrible play on his part. So we'll see. What do we want to do with this? Probably just weapon strength, right? If your whole deal is killing other characters, characters tend to have a lot of health. Yeah, he might move Dmitry back into Wolfenburg to try to defend it. If he does that, I'm fairly sure we can still take it from him with our 2 stacks. That would actually probably be the best thing that could happen to us. And in theory, he doesn't know that we have a second army in place. He might believe, reasonably, that that he will only need 1 army for the thing that he is trying to do. Okay, I guess a full march is the fastest way, but man, that's not a lot of distance for a whole march move. We've lost sight of the High Elves, so I guess Infectique can just chill down here somewhere. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe Magrita's fine. He's at least, like, right next to a port there. Let's do this thing. You just lay in wait cunningly. We did Snikch already. Week is going to do his thing next turn. Shife is already moved. Yeah, so we're good. Hopefully next turn... I wish I had a scout up here. I think there's no army up here right now. I think we're clear. So this may actually turn out a little cleaner than I thought it was going to. Because it really depends on how many of the unaccounted enemy armies are in positions that can retaliate against us. Where do you need to be? I guess your job is just to, like, watch what's happening with the army at Numas, and just let me know if the Bretonnians ride out on us. Staden up here, who has gained a level for some reason, can just keep working on his basic skills. To be perfectly honest, there's pretty good odds that he's not going to get there in time for it to matter. The whole campaign is going to have concluded by the time he gets where he's going. Yes, we have this again. Desperately trying to get back to a place where we are generating where we are at least close to parity on food. I don't know if that's even going to be feasible, but we're going to try really, really hard. Alright, Hergig's going to need to grow, and then we'll put a bell in the second slot, as we often do, and then I don't actually... We don't really need to upgrade this area, except that we should just upgrade all the areas, right? Okay, so that's going up. We may as well install a rubbish pit. And then over here, Fort Obersteier. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that needs to be rebuilt around here. Alright, by far the most interesting thing that will happen during this sequence of enemy turns is whatever it is Kislev is going to do. It's entirely possible that they just have the two armies we know about, so they do look pretty weak relative to us, but unfortunately... Oh, that's interesting. Itzo was confederated into Hexoatl, which means there's only like 2 Lizardman players left? Well, sorry, there's 3, because there's the tiny one that's fighting us over in the corner. But largely it's just Tlaqua, and why would you burn that down? Just take it over. What's wrong with you guys? There's no way that raising that was actually worth the money that will be incurred by the organizational, or worth enough money to be worth the organizational cost of the thing they're doing instead. Let me guess. Oh, no. I thought for sure they were going to ask me to break my trade agreement with the Norskins. The Norskins are valuable trading partners, despite the fact that I don't think they believe in money. Listen, they probably trade mostly in the delicious corpses of their enemies, which is something we can really get behind. Is Ungrim Iron Fist going to get in the water and start sailing toward us? Ooh, it looks like maybe multiple armies are going to sail toward us. I don't remember if the dwarves are at war with Sartosa or not. If the dwarves were to take over Sartosa, that would maybe make things a little bit easier on me, in terms of diplomatic standing and everything. It's way more diplomatically acceptable to reclaim a lost allied city and then just not return it to its original owners than it is for you to murder all the people in it yourself. Okay, Dimitri is just going to play defense. Ivan moves up to Dashev, and hey, it looks like actually maybe those are their only armies. We didn't really have any other time during their turn. Well, shoot, if they only have 2 armies, yeah, this is going to wrap up, like, really cleanly. I have no idea where all of those elves are going. They're definitely going to go get themselves killed. There's a dead Empire army for us to pick through, yet their disbelieving general lives, offering you power if you let him live. I don't... Why? Biofitch, just stab him. It's right in your name. You love to stab. We all know this. It's the #1 most known thing about you. Okay, we're being raided by a random rogue army down south. That is a problem that we will deal with eventually. We have a lot of things going on. First of all, since we're right here, we may as well run Queek's turn out. It's a pretty simple one. We took actually, like, no damage at all there. That went even better than I thought it was going to. Okay, now you will come down here and threaten. Yeah, we're going to run through Essen anyway, right? Because we're going to use the road to approach Nagenhof, so that's the right move. Hold on. Let's not get distracted looking at settlements just yet. So, Ikit Claw is still underway bouncing. We're not going to be able to get to Gorgazon quickly enough to defend it, and Gorgazon's first garrison structure doesn't go up till next turn, so we're probably going to lose it, but we can kill Mogan the Devoted right afterward here. Even more Quartermaster. So is this an underway move kind of situation? Yeah, it is. Just barely. It's just barely better. Okay, Agril Migdal cannot, unfortunately, start building defensive structures. We should probably do this. Bronte Mingol's quite far away from the front, though. No, it's fine to put the recruitment structure here. There's real good odds that settlement will never be in danger ever again. So we're going to do this here. Okay, Vomik. I bet a march would actually be... Nope, it is slightly further to do this. That'll be the last turn, that's true. So Aztec is in real trouble next turn, probably, which means this will be the turn when he attacks. Because that's the AI, you know. The AI is not stupid. They see what's happening. They don't want to get they don't want to get crushed. Alright, do you have the movement range? You do. Let's just get up here in reinforcement range without marching, because obviously it'd be cool if our troops were still feeling fresh for the battle. Oh, interesting. They really don't... Oh, because, well, part of this is that our army is not showing up as a reinforcement, even though I'm pretty sure it had the reinforcement line on the ground. It definitely should have been reinforcements. Okay, how about now? Still pretty bad odds. Interesting. Considering the relative weakness of this force, that's surprising. We don't need to do anything fancy here. Yeah, I think we just roll in on this. Are we attacking with the right army? Are we leading with the right army? Yeah, right? I mean, we both have Storm Vermin. It doesn't really matter how we do this, I don't think. And six charges is probably enough, but also there's no reason for us not to bring more charges. Alright, let's roll up here and take this settlement. I can't believe that they're being judged as, that this battle's being judged in their favor by the auto-resolver, because, like, this is maybe the plainest siege we've ever had. It's, like, so obviously us. I don't even know what their plan would be to do well here. If they put a lot of greatswords on the walls, they will certainly do damage to us while we are approaching. Like, as we are taking over the walls and stuff, but that's it, right? Like, we actually have more ranged units than they have. They have a lot of horses that are not even going to play a part in the battle. It's just like... Just the auto-resolver AI is just busted, man. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and destroy this tower again, because we were not offered a good enough safe zone. And we may as well, since we're doing that, just advance on the wall immediately. Which means everybody who's a little bit more vulnerable, stand back here, all the gun teams, like way over here. Remember that they do have mortars, so that's a thing we're going to have to negotiate. Characters, just kind of get over here. Okay, let's do the thing. First of all, always Arcane Conduit. Secondly, all of the war machines. Destroy this tower. Third, honestly, everybody except the war machines, just kind of like advance in the formation you're in now, I think. Should be fine. And of course we can do a good assault of stone on the wall as we approach, because that's always fun. Maybe like right about here. It should drop a lot on the wall and still get some good fire out elsewhere. And then you guys need to approach the other gate. Alright, rocks are falling. The party is dying. Man, Assault of Stone's a really good spell. Let's throw a plague up there on the wall as well. No reason to let him get comfortable. And actually, this is a situation where a plague on the inside of the gate would also probably be quite effective. I think we're just going to bash this gate in over here. Right, we can have these two units just smash the gatehouse. Actually, Hadar himself can break the gate open. And then what do we want to do with you guys? I don't necessarily want to roll them all the way over here because there's so much good work to do on this side. Maybe what we do is make them roll forward like this far, outside of that tower's range. We'll have to watch for enemies taking the towers in the middle to harass it, but I think that should work. And then back here, they've left a lot of units in defense positions to guard the mortar, but we may as well harass. We have so many charges of this ability, we may as well harass with it, right? It doesn't really harm us to do this. Okay, you guys need to actually be told to climb the wall. Do we want to run Valmik right up here? Probably, right? Oh, I misread this. I thought there were going to be 3 spots where we could climb. That's a little unfortunate. Okay, I'm actually going to have these... We're going to have some of these storm vermin run across the tower. I don't love doing that, because obviously that's damage to my units, but it's worth it to get people established here. Okay. Also, do we want to do anything? I guess Plague has a pretty long cooldown. Not a lot of good work being done by our catapults here. There's a lot of like hard misses. So we got walls up. You guys need to move with the rest of the army. Yep, they're trying to take over the towers here. Who do they actually have up on the wall? It's parts of a single unit of greatswords. Yeah, I think our solution to this is just going to be crack the gate open. Do you forget that I told you to kill the gate? 3 of you all need to be working on that gate. Alright, how did this go back here? Is it worth... they have great swords and stuff. It's probably not worth putting down another unit. It's also probably not worth putting down another unit here. You know what we probably want to do, actually? Let's just tie these guys up to keep them from going back up on the wall. Give them something to do so they don't reman the towers. Because we could take a significant amount of tower damage while we're waiting for the gates to get broken open. The units that we have on this are not exactly siege units, you know? You guys need to get up here. You need to just get in there and start murdering people. Pretty indiscriminately. Doesn't matter who. Just kill. Seems like a fine day for a plague. Maybe right there. Probably they're just going to move out of that for the most part, but we're causing confusion. We're making people run around. So we actually have control of this tower, which is wild, but excellent. This would probably be a good time to throw up a support filth. Make sure our troops are fighting at maximum effectiveness. You're in there hacking dudes up. How's this gate thing going? 49, okay. They're doing it. They're getting it done. Did we... Hold on a second. Show me my units. So those guys are there, those guys are there, those guys are there. This unit of storm vermin just didn't go up the wall? There might have been a little bit of a problem with Valmik also being ordered to go up that same wall bit. Alright, so he's clearly doing great work. We could, at this point, just start summoning Menace Below charges back here to cause confusion. I think I'll wait to do that until we start moving units down off the wall, which will be, it's going to be a minute yet before we're ready to do that. Try to focus on those guys. Guys should maybe try to get out of the way. And this is probably a time when it's okay for us to move this stuff in. Okay, apparently we accidentally destroyed the gate by shooting catapults at it. How's this going? 93%. They've put a much more significant force over here now. You are present, and as such can shoot some lightning at somebody. Here's where they're densest. Yeah, when that breaks, we're just gonna rush them, basically. Poisoned wind mortars should be working on them already. We probably don't have to commit forces to that manually, but I do want to turn... I guess I was gonna give them explicit attack orders, but probably it's better to just order them to turn and face this way, right? I also do not understand how the enemy could be said to be in control of this tower, because we definitely have way more guys than they do on that tower. Let's plague here, and let's have some units commit through the gate, right? Since it's open and everything. Do we want to run our wizard in? Because he is on the platform. He is ready to do some harm. And they don't have that many spears and stuff. It's probably fine. And as we have people start to approach, we throw up the flank. This will be when we can start shooting fireballs off of our wheel platform as well. Screw you guys! You guys in particular. No halberds allowed. That's effective. Alright, did we get this gate? The gate must be open. Yeah, okay. So, how do we want to do this? What is the way in which we all just run through and murder everything? I guess we just run... I mean, like... I hate to not be clever about it, but there's not really anything to do over here other than run through and make with the murder. Hey, everybody. Doors open? Get in there and figure it out? Alright. Catapults are in support positions. The whole battle is going, like, pretty well. It's nice to have reasonably elite forces. They're in a terrible position regarding the amount of units they have that are just not doing anything at all on account of cavalry during a siege battle. May as well filth up here. Vamik has been chopping dudes up with style and aplomb. You know what? You guys can stay over there and help overwhelm their melee. Yeah, I love the way I probably shouldn't have him fighting directly with the halberds. We should probably try to have somebody step in on the halberds. We can fight them with our own halberds. Or, alternately, with a whole bunch of units that are totally imaginary. I just made these rats up. Get in here. Yeah, look at that. God, I love the bell platform as a way of fighting infantry. Do we want to wither? I'm gonna throw up a wither. Remember, continuing to cast causes the plague rash to continue occurring, so we're tiring out the enemy units and making them less effective at combat. We have gunfire going on over here, which is a little bit silly, because obviously there's nothing to, none of that stuff is making any actual contact. Our Lord plus the Doom Wheels doing fine work over here. We could just be charging, I guess. Oh, right, there's a mortar crew. We should probably be pushing to the center of town a little bit more aggressively than we are. Well, good news, everybody who made it through the gate quickly. That's your thing. You guys need to just, like, kill this mortar crew. That's going to be a little bit of a mess, the interpretation of that order. But honestly, by the time they get over there, it's probably going to be pretty reasonable. Alright, so we probably got to take it easy on the Winds of Magic spending for a minute here. We'd be shooting more fireballs, because those don't cost anything. And actually, these Scorches don't cost anything either. And we're in a position here where there's a significant number of enemy melee troops that might be affected by it. It's nice to not be fighting dwarves. Our smaller magic spells actually do something. Okay, we're breaking down the last of the enemy melee on the wall. We have units here that did not join the battle, did not join the fracas when they could have. I could have sworn we ordered them to. Alright, do we want to use this Menace Below charge over on this side of the battle? Probably, right? If I put it down right here, they're just going to die instantly, but I do want them to be a part of making this push possible. I guess one more charge can go over here, I suppose. Here, we'll put them down in the Outriders. Just try to complicate things for these guys a little bit so they can't just fire into the melee with no penalty. You want to be over here, you got to pay a price. Vamik is doing a fine job. Melee defense up a little bit. It seems like he's getting punched a little bit. The camera freaked out a tiny amount there. Alright. So we're charging into the great swords. We got death runners in there, which is maybe not totally ideal. I see the plague mortars have gotten close enough to start being a part of the situation. Oh, Hadar, you're going to be needed up here, buddy. We're going to need you to engage in some deadly onslaughts. Let's also get a unit of death runners on that guy. Let's strip his armor as much as possible. And now that the forces around the mortar wagon are distracted, we can probably put that mortar crew to an end. I hit my guys with my own mortar instantly. They spawned, and the first thing they knew in life was friendly fire. It's a grim situation. That unit of spearmen with shields has way too much health. Put an end to that nonsense. I can't even tell if that hit the right guys. We could probably have these storm vermin step down. I kind of can't believe how long these handgunners have been up, considering the number of units that have been attacking them. You guys jump off the wall and just push those dudes out of there. I mean, like, our elite melee troops here should be... Let's see if we can pull the Doomflayers out to the side. But our elite melee troops should chop their melee troops up pretty effectively, although it is taking longer than I thought it was probably going to. We've almost killed their lord. We've permanently terrified their lord. And I think we're going to see their whole army break here. Yeah. Watching their lord give up right in front of them was the last straw. That went pretty cleanly. That went cleaner than these things often do. It's nice to show up with two armies that have good units, instead of one army that's like 75% of a decent one, and then another army that's half Skaven slaves. You can really feel the difference. Yeah, you can see for all of the ammunition shooting up at the walls, a total of 8 kills between all 4 of our gun units. The shooting up at the walls, even if it's not killing stuff, does still serve the purpose of suppressing the enemies, inflicting the leadership penalty for being shot at. So it's not doing nothing, but it's definitely not a great use of our ammunition. If we had actually managed to get through the gate there, obviously we could have set up inside and done that creep forward like we often do. But it's nice to be able to just like fight a battle where I know my melee troops are going to perform. You really, you have to have the most elite melee troops, and then you have to be up against an army that's not particularly good at melee, like the humans, in order for that to be the case with the Skaven. Okay, upgrades, and to be perfectly honest with you, I think we're probably gonna go for the gold mining pit over the growth building here. It's maybe not a huge shock. Alright, so this assassin has his assassin's trophy already. You get that at a pretty early level. I can't remember which character in my armies is which. We have so many heroes and lords and stuff. Alright, so you have all of your super important yellow line stuff. I guess we could finish off Howling Warp Gale. I'm trying to think. I guess we're going to be up against the Bretonnians for a significant portion of the end of the game, and Bretonnian armies do have flying units. So we'll come out front here, but we'll stay within the reinforcement range of the city. But that's 2 armies that'll basically be at full at the beginning of next turn, so those are well suited to their task. You also need to get over here. Yeah, Aztec is in trouble. Aztec is in trouble, like, right away. Infectique is where he needs to be... Scheif. Scheif is the only one who we haven't really given orders to. Scheif needs to take Salzenmund. I don't think there's a big army waiting for us over here. There shouldn't be. I'll take this. This is fine. See, I was just going to leave this whole area to the Norskins. They had to screw it all up and be unable to hold on to it. I'm very disappointed in them. You can't see my disapproving look, but I want you to understand that it is fierce. Alright, you have... What is your army made up of? All kinds of very elite stuff, much of it already gold ranked. Let's go for Whip Smart. We have a lot of Storm Vermin who would benefit from this right away. Alright, the Cherry Flesh just needs to make sure that this army is never healthy ever again. We need to get some verification from Obside that we are indeed safe from enemies coming in from other sides. What do we even... At this point, his skill points are largely irrelevant. Let's check the fort. How about that? Fort Jakova and Nagenhof are the two places that we don't have a good sense of. It looks like they're just empty. So obviously that's pretty great for us. I think this Kislev thing is going to conclude very quickly. We probably should have Erat push this way. We can try to have him help with this conflict, and then he can move on to getting deeper into Bretonnian territory later. Murta is also just kind of pushing it around here. There are a lot of Bretonnian agents, and we are going to try to assassinate every single one of them. Staden, like I said, is probably not actually going to be relevant. But we'll try. We'll see if we can get in front of some of the armies that we have marching along. Do we want to... I guess all we're doing is just upgrading basic buildings at this point. Use your money to make the opportunity to make more money. It's the most obvious thing in the world. Okay, so here it might matter a little bit how we do this. I guess these settlements are already fine. Never mind. Never mind, everything's cool. Let's get a... Do I anticipate being attacked? Probably not, but the garrison structure does produce money anyway, so we may as well make it. Okay, we didn't manage to get any warp fuel there. I have been informed, very helpfully, by some viewers, that there is a map action that I could have been taking all of this time with the warp engineers that would get us warp fuel. To be perfectly honest, I don't think that we have needed it desperately, really. Like, our pace of upgrades could have been a little faster. I don't know how much of a difference that would have made. But we might want to, at this point, recruit a little bit, just because we're fighting a smaller number of battles per turn. It means we're getting a smaller number of vials of warp fuel per turn, which means we're getting a smaller number of vials of warp fuel per warp or doom rocket building cooldown. That's what I'm trying to express. So we might want to hire an extra engineer or two just to do those map actions to try to get that number back up, because obviously we want to make sure that we are hitting that warp or that doom rocket button on cooldown as long as our value of our number of held warp rockets is low. Doom rockets. Why can I not remember that? It's such a cooler name than warp rocket too. I would think that would be the one I would gravitate toward. So we are at war with Plakwa, right? The fact that Tic-Tac-Toe's army just ran up to my settlement is a thing we have to deal with, like, soonish. To be perfectly honest with you, I think I'm just going to ignore him for now. He'll work through our territory. He'll get some of it. But I really want to close up this problem in the southeast, and then we can worry about him afterward. Oh, he didn't even take over Orgazan. Well, that's probably actually smart of them, because that's going to make it more of a pain for me to reclaim it. And if he had taken it over, we would have just slaughtered his troops in there. We should try to divert the attention of the Dark Elves to the west. Oh, there is a whole army at Wrecker's Point. I forgot Wrecker's Point was even a thing. Okay, so the northern part of this, or the western part, rather, of this Kislev war might be a little less smooth than I thought. No, absolutely not. Let's take a quick look at a couple parts of our position here before we end the level. Before we end the video. First things first, it's true I did not defeat Luen Leonkur. Hawkland is gonna freak out, that's fine, we have people right here. First of all, So Wrecker's Point is part of the same province as the Black Pit. Alright, so those guys will be moving toward Dietershof, and they might be there already, even. That's a thing we can totally deal with. Way, way, way down here... Let's see. Yes, I am at war with these guys. So Tic-Tac-Toe is going to take Carrick Zorn from us. We're going to lose a fully upgraded settlement. It's fine. I don't think we care about that too much. Like, it'll be a bummer to lose an upgraded gold mine, but they don't take that long to rebuild. And keep in mind that movement between these areas is much easier for us than it is for him, because lizardmen do not have access to the underway. They actually have to go all the way around the mountains. We will be able to just cheat here. So once we finish claiming all this stuff, we'll be able to jump over there and take that real quickly. They haven't bothered to push down this way. We are going to have to run somebody all the way out to the Cursed Jungle, which is a shame because that's like a long, long way out of our way. But on the whole, I think this part of the conflict is fine. Where did these guys come in terms of world power rankings? They look a lot weaker than us. They are strength rank 8. So I don't know exactly how many armies that is, but it's probably not more than... Honestly, it might not be 3 even. That might just be 2. Yeah, we can handle this. This is not a problem. Where are the dwarves right now? Do they only have the settlements we believe them to have? Yeah, okay, it's just these 3 that we can see here. They're actually still looking relatively powerful. They're running a lot of armies on that small amount of money that they're making per turn. Which is kind of crazy. I guess one of their settlements has a gemstone mine, but we might expect their armies to be a little bit less elite than they have been in the past, because they just don't have the money to be running real forces. Okay, that's all very interesting. I think this is probably a pretty good place for us to stop for today. Thank you all so much for watching. The action is non-stop over here. We are constantly beset by enemies. But soon we will actually have a huge part of our nation secured, and then we can just really focus on this war in the desert, and I think you're going to be amazed at the speed with which we start accomplishing objectives. The speed in terms of game turns. Obviously, I'm still going to play very slowly and drag it out forever. That's just what you signed up for when you came here, though. You knew that was happening. Alright, that's it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow, when we probably finish off Kislev. Fingers crossed. And we'll see you then.